This is going to be the first episode of the Wayne on Wealth podcast with a amazing guest, the one and only my dad. And I really hope you guys enjoy this episode because it will be the start of my journey as a podcaster. And I just really want to share the value and life lessons that my dad will give me in the video. And so, yeah, stick around and like and subscribe. Hey, Dad, welcome to the first episode of my podcast, Wayne on Wealth. It's nice to have you as my first guest.
Yeah, it's good to having me today. Um, I think pretty proud of you to have the journey to start your YouTube channel. I'm definitely gonna be continue to support you in all shapes and form. I think most important thing is you know so my little advice is you know be consistent, be persistent. I think you will definitely get there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into the wealth questions. All right, so what was the first way you would say is how you made money at the start?
I think if you look at because of my age, I'm in my 50s right now. If you are saying that the first the job or whatever, it's gonna be pretty much you either. I mean, for my experience, I when I started off, I actually work in the supermarket and also work in a restaurant, being a waiter. So that is like. Wherever you have job, right, you're available, you do it. It's going to be a lot more physical instead of a lot more using a lot more mental, right? So that's kind of my experience. That was like 40 plus years ago, right? So it's definitely very different. It's like obviously this is your first podcast, so this is kind of like it's not a main job, but it's something that that will communicate what your experiences on this particular channel. So I'll definitely love to be able to support you in any way.
Yeah, yeah. Now, if you went back in time to the same age I am, 16 years old, is there anything you would do to make sure you're set up for life or in the future you're a millionaire or billionaire even?
I think if it's 2025 right now, I'm 16 years old. I think the first thing I need to do is focusing on education, learning. I think especially in 2025 where you will be able to know it is the age of the beginning of AI, or I should say the inflection. There's a lot of uncertainty in the economy, a lot of structural change in all the industry with AI. I will urge you to learn a little bit more on AI because that will have huge impact. So assume if I'm 16 year old, first thing is I'll sign up courses on AI, introduction to AI, what is generative AI, what AI actually means. Not just because of everybody talk about AI and you say, oh well, you need to really understand what does AI really means for humanity, for certain industry. So you need to start off with that. And obviously, the more you learn, then you need to focusing on the latest tools. What tools that you learn from that will be what we call AI tools that change the world right now? Because right now every company is going to have a dot AI, dot something AI here. Just like our time, if you have internet or you have anything .com means you are definitely doing something different, right? So in this inflection, this point of time in the next 5 to 10 years, it will be the most interesting, challenging, and sometimes it can be worrying as well. So if I'm 16 years old, first thing I need to do is I need to learn about AI. I think this is pretty much very important. I think the second thing is probably 16-year-old, probably not able to start work right now, but I need to do something to really make money in that manner. Then But before you start, right, don't just, anything that you want to do, just do it. But as I did share with you, right, begins in end in mind. So this particular concept I obviously learned from my mentor previously, that you need to have a goal. Let's say in the next 10 years. So if I'm 16 years old, what it's going to look like if I'm 26 at that time? What are the things that will be what we call, what success looks like at the age of 26? How do you define success? So a lot of soul searching to understand your goal, right? Let's say for example, if I'm 16, I'll think of what success looks like at age of 26. What are the things I need to do financially to prepare myself, to ensure that I can actually work my way in. Now, obviously, planning without execution is meaningless, right? So you need to put up a very high level plan, dream big, but act small, right? Create short-term success. So it means that, ultimately it's 10 years, probably going to zoom down to the next 5 years. Then understand execution details, like 1 year. So what are you going to do? Let's say in the next few months, right? As you are doing YouTube channels, you probably need to learn about all the latest content creation tools that you need to learn this, which is AI, how to generate images, how to do content creation. So you decided to do this, right? So these are the things that you probably need to plan. What are the education things that I need to learn in order for me to start doing something? So obviously YouTube is one of the biggest platform in the world, so people communicate as well. So you need to start in this journey to learn, right? But it all comes down to details of what you need to achieve on a daily basis, weekly basis, to do that.
Now, do you have any sort of advice for discipline or motivation for the younger audience out there?
I think financial planning, life planning, practically is all about working it day in, day out.
So
day in, day out means, what I'm trying to say is, it's like whether is it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day, whether you like it or not, you got to do your top 5 tasks every single day, without like parents, right, to remind you of doing it. It needs to come from you, right, that you need to do. So for instance, right, you are doing this particular channel right now on finances, that you got to do a lot more research on certain topics, right? So, and what are your day looks like every day? You need to list down the top 3, top 5 action items. The rest of the things, don't do it. And obviously at your age, there will be a lot of what we call temptation or distraction. These are, you have to tell yourself, what is your priority right now? If your priority is to learn and obviously to execute things that you wanted to do, then you got to spend time, work on it, whether day in, day out, right? I remember once, I think Michael Phelps, right, one of the all-time swimming Olympic champion.
Yeah.
He does not, for him to be where he is that time, he shared, right, during some of his podcasts or even experiences, right, he said, I probably never take break. Even on Christmas, he's still swimming. So it's a daily effort. It's not yearly effort, weekly effort, it's daily effort. So as I mentioned to you, begins and end in mind. You need to plan what's going to be the big dream you have, but it all comes down to execution details. And I will urge you to not to overthink too much. Just do it. No matter, every single day, a little bit of improvement, even 1%, by the time 1 year after that, you'll be so good at doing certain things. So make sure, write down the 3 to 5 most important things you need to do daily basis. You need to achieve certain goals within daily basis to weekly basis. Then after that, yearly basis. And you will realize if you continue to do that day in, day out, in 1 or 2 years, you will see good results in terms of your health, in terms of your YouTube channel you're talking about, in terms of your, obviously you're going college, and also these are all the things that you will see huge difference. And I have a lot of people that I admire, that I see, they all start very young age. Obviously, I worked for Dell previously, and I know Michael Dell is one of my favorite guy. I admire him for such a long time. I worked for this company for almost 20 plus years, more than 20 plus years actually, not almost, it's 20 plus years. But the most important thing, it is his work ethics, the way he do it every single day, how he have to juggle so many things, his business, his family, his other businesses, his philanthropy. So he has a lot of things to juggle, but he is relentless in his pursuit every single day. What are the things he's doing? So could you imagine at that level, right? He's probably previously one of the richest men in Texas. It's not just about how rich you are, but because of his work ethic. He started creating Dell in his dorm, in his college years.
So how do teenagers or young adults even build or reach that level of work ethic that all these millionaires, billionaires seem to have?
So obviously, come back to Michael Dell, right, as a good example.
Yeah.
He started probably at 19, right, in his college to build his first stuff. And by the way, he has potentially started a lot of other businesses before, right? So what I'm trying to tell you here is he already started doing business way before he started up Dell, or what he call Dell Computer right now, or Dell Technologies right now. So it all starts with, he probably doesn't have what the normal teenager will going to, have fun, going out. Maybe he'll do occasionally, but his fun is, I'm going to create business. I'll do it. So your job right now in the year 2025, have a goal, start learning, start doing. The earlier you start doing it, the more you get the hang of it. And by the time you're able to realize that you in the next 1 or 2 years, you will know, you will achieve something. What are the things you want to do, achieve? What a success looks like, right? So as I say, right, begins and end in mind. So you need to what we call know what success looks like in the next 10 years for you. But that is probably pretty far. 10 years from now, I'm probably going to finish college. I'm probably going to already have a very matured business around, right? So if you have those goals that you set up right now, the rest of other things is noise. It's noise. All the activity, all the temptation is all noise. Probably you're going to spend time building the business. Probably you spend time doing what you do most. And by the way, even though sometimes you don't like it, not every day you probably wake up, I'm going to be so motivated. But there will be certain time you probably don't like it, but you're still going to do it.
So essentially, the point you're making is that the perseverance and the showing up every single day to work on that business or that work that will guide you to success is the most important. Do you think it is the most important aspect of any entrepreneur or successful person?
Yes. And you probably heard a lot of gurus or entrepreneur or successful folks that will, how should I say, that they say 99% of the business fail. But why those 1% people succeed? Because they do it day in, day out. And another thing very important, never ever give up. Never ever give up on yourself. never ever give up on the goal that you already set up for the next 10 years. Because this will be, is the most difficult. Most of the time people give up. And that is the reason why they fail. Not because they have other, obviously there's tons of reason. But I think the fundamental thing is because they give up. They give up too early, too easily. But most of the people that you can see that you know that they have failed multiple times, but they never give up on their dreams. And because of that, they deserve to be the 1%. So never have listened to all the people in the because right now, or social media, internet, online, everybody will have a feeling of sense of victim mentality. Oh, the rich people here, they all do all this and that, but you never know at the end of the day. You see them successful right now, but behind all the sweat and tears, the failure, the inconsistent, the lesson learned, everything, right? To be where they are today. And obviously, you can see so many examples, right? Obviously, people like Elon Musk, who have nearly get Tesla bankrupt, before, he's able to be where he is today, because he never give up. And you can see the kind of work ethics that he has, right? So, I can give tons of experience, right? Even our President Trump, like him or don't like him, right? His work ethics, you can see, day in, day out, never stop fighting for Americans. Never stop. He's practically have more energy, like Vice President Vance have an interview recently, right? He said he has so much energy, and by the way, he's like approaching 80 years old soon. No, but the kind of passion, the work ethics that he has. That's why you can see a lot of successful people is the work ethics. Every day, day in, day out, regardless of how old they are or how young they are. So if you have that, I can tell you, success is guaranteed.
Now, when we're on the talk of a lot of successful people like President Donald Trump or Mark Cuban, how do you know whether that guru that's teaching you or guiding you is actually somewhat a scammer or just flexing that lifestyle for views on social media? And how do you find the right mentor and the right guidance for your future?
So this is not an easy answer actually. As you can see in 2025, you have so many gurus, so many people out there, right? It's like information overload. And I always say right now that the media, the people say in social media is what they say. Always remember, it is not what they say. It's not even how they act on social media, but what they actually do behind. What is actually people do from behind. That most likely you will not know. Right? Now, the question is, why do they want to be so prominent in social media? Why? They must be something that they want from reputation or whatever. But you will not see the really rich guy who wants to know their wealth. And potentially you will not know those rich guy, the really rich one, whether they want to be interviewed or whether they want to be known. Some they don't even want. Now, as you see, you can see Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. But do you know there are a lot of folks that probably a lot more rich, they don't want you to know? Like the Saudi royalty, they're probably in the trillions. Right? But do they want to flex? Yeah, they'll probably do it. But there are a lot more folks that you don't even know. Right? There's a lot of big corporation that controlling so many things right now. Okay, so my suggestion for you here is, I can't give you, I don't want you to say that I'm going to give you advice, but it's certain experience of mine. Um, Take step by step, but have a long-term goal. Make sure you grind it, persistent, persevere. I think that's pretty much important.
All right.
Okay?
I agree. Because if you don't persevere, if you don't even try in the first place because you're scared that you won't succeed, then you won't even try. You won't even have the chance to reach that goal. And I want to go and delve into more of your personal life. How would you redo it all over again? If you had that failure, what would be the solution?
Um, this is hard. I probably consider myself tons of failure. You know, tons of failure means during that time, certain financial mistake that I make, I'll probably make the same mistake that a lot of them do. When you are young, you probably doesn't have anyone to teach you about finances. You spend more than you earn. And that's number one. Number two here is because of your, you probably know that is probably from a very poor background before. So suddenly you have opportunity to taste those early success. You overwhelm yourself with those what we call greed. And I think very important here is how do I learn from it? I think one thing very important that always have in me, together with mom, right, is we never give up. The same thing, we never give up. The most important thing is you never give up on yourself first, because a lot of people went into depression or all this because they overthink things, right? And they always feel that, this is going to be the end of the world. I don't think I'm going to recover from this. I think this is very important, that don't have all this negativity in you. Persevere. You have tons of experience that you read, right? Colonel Sanders set up his business when he's so old, probably older than me, started Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? You have so many examples, tons of them, who started business very late. You have also had people who have failing bankruptcy so many times and still come back. You have so many failures, people who have a lot of failures, but still able to recover. Why? Because of the feeling of not gonna give up. Give up is not going to be in their dictionary unless you kill me. I remember, I think Elon actually said, right, he will continue to do this. He practically don't have this fear or give up in his dictionary. And that is the reason why he is where he is today. Mm-hmm. And obviously come back to my ex-boss, right, big boss, right, Michael Dell. Michael I probably worked in Dell for probably almost 20 plus years, right? I have seen Dell have gone through up and down. But even though he faced so many challenges, right, I'm telling you that kind of fear, I couldn't imagine, right, as the chairman and CEO of that company. He'll probably, so stressful, how are you going to overcome all these people, up all the situation, where there are certain years, Dell is practically being batched up by competitors or probably really going down. But he is never give up on the business. Why? Because he has this conviction that the goal that he has, so that he's able to what we call build this business. And until today, he has never failed to impress me, right? That he never failed to grow Dell Technology to where it is today, even though I don't work for him right now. But this is something that is important that you need to take note.
All right. Well, the people like Dell, who started at 19 years old and all the way up to his current age, they started super, super young. Now, do you think, from your perspective now and your perspective when you were younger, how did your perspective of money change? Because a lot of younger people nowadays, like teenagers, young adults, like I've said, they always have this mindset of like not investing in themselves and just spending whatever they have because they don't really have a grasp of the money. They don't have the grasp of what it takes to actually get that money. So the question is, how did your perspective change of money now that you are 52 years old?
Um, I'm still learning. Obviously, I think money is only, or I should say, is only a medium of exchange. Now you have old money, physical currency.
Yeah.
You have new money, the cryptocurrency. Right. So it has different forms right now. So ultimately here is, what are you going to bring on the table? What are you going to bring to the table? What value do you bring to society? The bigger problem you solve, the bigger rewards you have. And that reward itself, it can come as reputation, a good brand name, finances. These will come. But you need to focusing on what are the problems you're going to solve. Right? Let's say, for example, you have this particular channel right now. What are you going to convey your understanding as a 16-year-old to on finances, on politics, on business? What is your take? So what are you going to bring to the table? It's ultimately what value, what are you trying to solve, right? The bigger problem you're trying to solve, the more rewards will come. And by the way, even the reward is small. Every single day, if you can create a little bit of contribution, that is a good start. Don't say, oh, I'm not going to be like Michael Dell or Elon Musk or Mark Cuban or all these big names, right? You're probably not going to, you can't even imagine yourself they are there. And by the way, when they start, they probably don't even know they're going to be there, right? So it comes down to your everyday goal, your everyday action. So that makes a difference. Every single day, the more you do, it adds up. Obviously, you learn along the way, but you know what? It's come down to day or even hours, right? But I personally feel that the goal is very important, the execution equally more important than anything else. Okay?
So pretty much don't just use your mouth. You actually have to do the action, right? Like you have to do what you say. And now moving on, a lot of young people nowadays get stuck in the mindset of work-life balance. Now, this is more about, balancing work, not working when, if you have a 9 to 5, after 5, you're gone, you don't respond to any calls from your bosses or anything. And with this mindset, do you think that mindset of work-life balance is why a lot of employers aren't hiring younger people nowadays?
So let's talk about this term work-life balance, right? Even if a lot of companies, they all have that, say work-life balance, I think it's totally bullshit. Especially at your age of 16 years old. You don't need work-life balance. Because work-life balance is a term where, I don't know, I don't believe in all the HR BS, right? Or work-life balance, there's no such thing as work-life balance. Okay? So, there is such thing as every single time when you work on it, you give your all. As if that is going to be the last day. So, to me, there's no such thing. This is a fallacy or some big gurus tell you this, but I never believe that at all. Because I know at the end of the day, it cannot be balanced. It's just that if you have certain time you allocate weekly on family or personal, you will then don't worry about business. Switch off your mobile phone, don't check your emails, have good quality time to do what you need to do. on the personal level. Like health, you can set up some times to work on your health, to eat good food, to have good conversation with friends. Sometimes you need to do that. Have some dinners, or luncheons or whatever. Do that, and have some time to wind down. Do that. Give your all, but don't. How should I say? I should say not work-life balance, but don't juggle everything at one time. Because to me, I always feel, yes, obviously some big guys, they're able to juggle, but the question is, are you able to do well at those different tasks? So unless you have help, you have big teams to help you to take over some of your responsibility, don't ever believe the fallacy of work-life balance, because it's totally bullshit. Okay?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, diving in a bit deeper, for all the viewers out there, all the ambitious teens who want to make money, who want to be the next Jeff Bezos, with all this fame and all the money, what do you think you would put on top of the pedestal, right next to that money, like family or health? Like, what else would someone like me also need to prioritize that they might not be seeing at such a young age?
I think the first thing you need to put is God. God is everything. God first, then family, and then the rest. You decide. Because having God, you have that in Him. You have that His protection, His confidence, His God confidence, His faith, your faith in that is number one. And when you have that, things will fall into place. All right? Obviously, family will come for you, whatever, but the most important thing in my opinion, is God. God number one. And then for me, probably mommy second, right? And then you and your brother, right? So this is family, and then the rest, friends, and So I think to me is your faith, because the faith that you have, right? You will see at the end of the day, a lot of people, whether they believe or not, definitely this will come first. Okay?
All right. Well, for someone at your age, what do you think because a lot of, people have no direction in life at the moment, and they don't really know where to start because, of course, like you said earlier, there's like an overflow of information. There's too much things, this looks exciting, oh, drop shipping, affiliate marketing, all these things look so promising because you get the money quick, and what do you think about that?
I don't believe in get rich quick scheme. Whatever you do, if you target on get rich quick, chances are you're going to fail, because your goal is very short-sighted. All right, it took, like you say just now, Jeff Bezos, right? It took him so many years to be where he is today. It's definitely going to be the first year, and most likely not going to be the second year too. So if you decided what you need to do, give yourself at least a minimum of 10 years. Right? So give yourself a minimum of 10 years. Minimum. Before you talk about giving it up. But of course, along the way, you will modify, you change. You change, but in my suggestion, that's kind of the timeline, right? And don't have this mindset, because if you really doing it every single day, you will grow on it, and the more things you learn, not just college, the more things you will take in, new technologies, new tools, new platform, and especially this age of AI, it's going to be very destructive, right? It changes every now and then. But how can you keep it up to it? So you will tell yourself at the end of the day, focus on the small little thing to achieve the big one. So I'm not sure whether I'm trying to answer.
All right, no, you answered the question right. It's more about, the get rich quick is not the answer, because every successful entrepreneur and CEO had to really put in that hard work, to achieve that lifetime goal that a lot of people they can't even dream of, And so what's one principle of money that you think throughout the next decade or so would never ever change? What will always be something you should follow, especially with money?
I'll probably, maybe there's no one thing, but probably I have one, maybe a lot more controversial statement. Don't think about money yet, because if you don't able to create value or solving problems, then money means nothing. So don't think about money yet. Okay, my suggestion: think about money yet. Don't think about, I'm going to make 1 million, 2 million. No, don't think about it yet. Think about the goal, what you're trying to achieve. You got to build this business, you got to solve this problem, or you got to build this particular platform, whatever you're trying to do, right? Because that is the value you're bringing, number one. Number two is the amount of work you need to put in to achieve that particular goal. Obviously, money will come, or I should say, complementary together if you have succeed, but it will never be your goal at least 10 years from now. You're 16 years old. So what you need to do right now is to never think of it. Obviously, I'm not saying that you forget about it, put it at the back of your head, but focusing on the value that you're going to create. Like, for example, this first video, this channel that you're going to create. So what are the value that you wanted to bring into the audience, right? So don't think about it. My suggestion, I don't think I'm the best advice for you, but my suggestion is don't think about it. And if you can see a lot of folks, right, who created big company right now, they started off probably not even thinking of their money. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. He created Facebook in his university, in his uni, right? Trying to solve some problems, have everybody communicate together. So he didn't say, I'm going to make money, but he have just go to work this out together. So Jeff Bezos, right, want to create a platform of selling books online initially, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't say I'm going to make how much $1 million or whatever, billions or no. He didn't. He just want to have a platform where everybody can able to commerce, able to buy books online. So, right, the initial goal should not be money. Okay, I mean that's my suggestion.
What habits do you think would lead someone to success if they follow them every single day? What daily habits would be the best?
I'm probably not going to mention any habits, but I have mentioned just now during our conversation the work ethics. The work ethics will build your habit. Because if you really, the question I have is always is, how seriously do you want to achieve this goal? How bad do you want to have this objective achieved? If you really want it badly, you will have those work ethics that, as I mentioned, right, day in, day out. I'm going to grind it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to be consistent, I'm going to do it. That's going to be your habit that you will build. There's no such thing as you got to do this, do that. It won't. I definitely don't want to, or I should say, not want to give you that habit. But if you understand your goal and ask yourself, do you really want this goal achieved badly? If the answer in your heart is yes, you will ensure that you have those work ethics like the people that I mentioned just now. They do it day in, day out, regardless of age. I will not always say, oh, whether you're 50 or 30 or 40, it's meaningless. It's not just a number. But what are you going to do today that will be different from yesterday? What are you going to do tomorrow will be better than today? So it's practically your effort, your work ethics. From there, you build certain habits. Obviously, they can be good habits or bad habits, but those things, as I mentioned, right, the good habits will contribute positively in your life, be it personal, health, business, anything. But there will always be negativity that comes into you. All right, make sure you surround with people that are smarter than you, that have like-minded. There will always be negative people around you. Try to, I shouldn't say don't make friends with them, but try to move away with this circle of friends. Make sure you surround yourself with very highly motivated people, have the same work ethics or even better or smarter, or really work harder. That's important. That you will build those habits every single day. And I always say that, I'm not sure whether I did that share with you, right? In order to work smart, one have to work hard. So there is no shortcut, no get rich quick scheme. It's just pure hard work. Then you will have, like what I mentioned, those successful people, huge work ethics, good work ethics, and from there you build your habits. Right? So am I able to answer or share with you some of my experience?
Yeah, I'm really glad I got you on here.
Okay.
Now, this will be the end of the WayneOnWealth podcast. I'm glad to have you on here.
Thanks. We'll definitely watch from afar or even near for your success.
Yeah.
All right? I'm very proud.
All right. Glad to have you on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me today.